Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Good Show here on Tuesday in Stockholm. It's the 34th edition. It's the light edition of the show, not just because Hellspawn isn't here, but also Adebisi and Newman aren't joining us. Hellspawn is currently stuck in Paris with Mike and Sean. And also
Robert
Olin stuck there.
Mark, I think, is there.
Newman's scared to come on the show. We're gang up on him with League of Legends talk. So yeah, it's the light edition. I'm joined at the desk by Semmler. How's it going, Semmler?
Really good, man. Great day. A lot of Dota. Played a lot with Waga. It's good times. Lots of black holes missed.
He's sleeping right now, Waga, actually.
Yeah, he is sleeping. Yeah. Dude, he pulled an all-nighter.
Yep, he did. And in the corner, we're joined by a Bond villain and some sort of boy band wannabe. How's it going, Bruno and Weppas?
I'm doing great, actually. It's the first time I'm in this part of the show, so it's kind of fun. I don't know what I'm talking about, so it's just nod and say,
Jesus, Bruno, you're such an honest guy. You can't lie at all. You read that on your face completely. It's gotta be fun. How's it going, Weppas?
It's good.
Yeah.
Chilling.
Yeah.
Like
been streaming some Dota. Lost pretty much everything.
Has your hair got bigger or have you got thinner?
I don't know. Bit of both, maybe.
Both. My hair's got bigger, actually.
That's it.
That's that.
It's kind of what hair does, doesn't it?
It wasn't on purpose this time. I ran out of my shampoo and I had to use someone else's, and it was volumizing.
Nice.
I don't need that. But I used it anyway, and my clothes are fucking shrunk in the wash. All right then. So Weppas, you might need to just leave the show for a bit and get some food, apparently, according to chat, as they're spamming feed Weppas. But for anybody who's not familiar with the Good Show, basically we break down the news of the week, go over some of the topics that happened. Some of them are interesting, some of them are just some news updates, but generally we keep you covered in mainly StarCraft 2, Dota 2, but also general news, some League of Legends, Quake, and other games as well. So we'll get started then. We might as well start right at the top. Unless anybody has got anything interesting that they want to say before we,
Just so we don't have a camera for the production. Mingles is producing today.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mingles producing.
Mingles
all up in this.
She's been downgraded from on-screen talent.
She'll get here eventually.
Okay.
Upgraded user.
Well, let's go to the first piece of news then. Mingles, bring us to the in-game on-screen screeny thing of my screen. As the starting news, we'll start with this. Copenhagen Wolves have now been sponsored by Adidas. So this is Copenhagen Wolves. Probably, I would say they're more famous for their kind of Counter-Strike, as far as I can recall from anything they've done. They've never really kind of stood out, but obviously they've got a decent infrastructure. They've named themselves from Copenhagen, so they're either thinking CGS is going to come back, or they just want to brand themselves and get some local partners in and easily. But either way, they've managed to actually get Adidas, or Adidas, however you want to say it. This is huge. It's a mainstream sponsor.
It's quite rare. I remember Copenhagen Wolves having a Dota 2 team, like
twice, right?
It was the team DD, the one with was SK first, and it was DD, then it was
Quantic,
Eclipsia, Quantic,
Management, lack thereof.
I love this picture. Management are currently out spending Adidas' money. What?
But didn't they have TTB as well once?
Yeah, that as well. But I mean, it's interesting because you see, like most of the sponsors for games are
pictures overrated,
hardware companies and stuff like that.
This is obviously
hey, they're all the same guy.
And if they don't have like a Twitter, they just put Copenhagen Wolves as a Twitter account. I want to be a good manager too. What keyboard should I use? This one. Sorry, Bruno.
It's fine.
We can't even mock anybody. We didn't have a website, but continue.
I was saying, normally you get hardware sponsors for teams like that because it's what people that play games want. It's interesting to see whether the game playing community is interested in Adidas, like footwear and sportswear in general.
Well, it's not the first time Adidas have been in eSports. They also were a sponsor of SK Gaming. A little while ago, and also I think if we come to the screen again, I think it's this that's tipping the balance these days. corporate dudes know this name. They're like, my autistic kid plays League of Legends.
It's kind of like a charity work.
Yeah. I want... You get tax breaks. I'm so glad Hellsman's not here to fight back.
Yeah, I can tell.
I think it could be towards that, but I think that it's quite easy to kind of just to wrap that up as that is it really. I don't think there's anything more to be said. Apollo is watching us apparently from the airport. Hello,
Hi, Sean.
Sean.
Hi, Sean.
Huh? Finding Apollo. Yeah.
It's going to be Finding Apollo and Adabisi pretty soon, yeah.
Okay, so there's a couple more sponsorships that have gone on last week. We'll come to the next one. This one's Millennium. They've been picked up by more of your norms, which are going to be Corsair, as you can come to my screen. Millennium picked up, I think they got a little bit more serious in StarCraft 2. You can correct me if I'm wrong, Semmler.
Do they have a Tomb
Yes, they
Raider
have.
team?
Right.
But we can go ahead and bring them up with League of Legends as well. They sponsored Solo Mid. So,
I didn't know that too,
They're getting
I know.
around, man. They're
Yeah.
like the Village Bicycle.
It's not surprising to see sponsors come in kind of in the first quarter of the year. Normally all the negotiations start around November. You normally want them finishing in November, so the announcement time sometimes takes people pretty long. So Corsair, going to be with Millennium and also Team Solo Mid.
Right.
I'm not sure what Millennium are doing in terms of, okay, they're in the Championship Series, and then their StarCraft 2 team. I'm sure they had quite a few.
Oh, they have 4GG.
I can't read
He's
this.
the most notable.
Tell me where to
We've got
Right.
Feast as well.
feast 4GG.
Team Pro.
Yeah.
It says Team Pro there.
Team Pro.
Next to StarCraft
Okay,
2.
Yeah.
Team
please.
Pro.
It's a French site.
There you go.
4GG.
4GG, Feast, Dystar,
Yeah, that's right.
Bashi,
Adele
Scott,
Scott. Oh, yeah,
Madelis.
that's right. Madelis got picked up by them as well.
Lalouche next. Yeah, okay. So, actually, I was kind of looking at them a little while ago,
Don't
because
it,
if you actually look at their sponsors without Corsair, you're like, eh? Even this one as well, but it's kind of like, okay, it makes a bit more sense. And I actually kind of like, when they picked up 4GG and done some stuff, I was like, is Millennium really going to be able to keep their promises on this kind of stuff? So picking up Corsair, good for them. They're probably going to be able to move on as
It's going to make them really happy.
normal. The next piece of news, in general news, you guys probably saw it. It was on yesterday. It was the
No, tell me more.
StarCraft Heart of the Swarm.
It launched.
Yeah.
The time is here. Rejoice. It's gonna
StarCraft is
breathe new
alive
life,
again.
man.
Yep.
What's that?
It's alive again.
I know, it's
StarCraft.
going to breathe new life into the RTS genre. That's it. This was what we've all been waiting for. Wall was getting a little stale, a little boring. Heart of the Swarm, supposed to bring that boost of vitality back to the game.
Yeah, I asked chat, did any of you guys watch the live stream? If you watched it, did you enjoy it? And also, if you guys already bought the game and started playing it, because like this is me, right? Okay, Heart of the Swarm. Considering how much time I spent buying Wings of Liberty, I haven't bought Heart of the Swarm. I probably won't buy Heart of the Swarm.
No. Besides, we got plenty of mouse pads for you. It's not a problem.
Okay, people are already replying. Apparently, one person says pretty boring. Some people just say no.
How's the campaign
Not
for
delivered
people who-
yet.
That's the
someone
best
hasn't
part.
got it.
That's the question.
So
How's
that's
the
what was happening.
campaign?
Because you had some pretty sneaky guys like Noni. They went and changed their account to the C location, the Southeast
Yeah.
Asia, and so they were able to get access to the campaign before everybody else.
Oh.
So while the whole launch thing was going, whatever, Noni was streaming the campaign. So I was like, well, click watch.
Yeah, let's
Noni.
watch that.
I watched like 3/4 of the campaign already, just watching Noni play it. I was like, okay, I'm not going to play the campaign now. I know what happens.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
It's all about ladder anyway.
Yeah. So anyway, Blizzard did. I thought was pretty good. They basically did a launch across all the different regions. So they had like Flash versus
Life,
Life,
which was supposed to be fucking fantastic game.
Yeah, I didn't get to see that. So that happened, and then they had this community thing with Day 9 TV and Team Liquid, and that's when I tuned in, right? I tuned in, and someone else shares my opinion. MZSC says Day 9 Husky table was shit, but everything else was good. So I tuned in at the Day 9 and Husky part, and I'm like, okay, Blizzard's official fucking
Hello,
launch, yeah? And I'm sat there, and I'm thinking to myself, am I just listening to stories of some guy's life that aren't that funny, and this is the official launch. And so I tweeted, I was like, this is weird and awkward. Everyone, like, I got some people going, nah, it's good. And I was like, well, maybe I just tuned in at a bad part. But basically, yeah, I found that horrible. I credit them to be able to maybe not understand how bad they were on camera, to be able to sit there long enough and make it happen without just breaking down into tears. So, credit to their kind of just, not having any kind of foresight or whatever into doing that segment. Some of the community stuff was pretty good that they did show, but between the segments, right, Mingles?
Hello, Mingles.
Just jumped from the production table all the way
She's
over.
upgrading.
But it felt really weird that that was like such a big filler time that they gave to that segment, and obviously gave free reign to it, Blizzard. And it just felt like, it's like if Dota 2 was going to do the launch and they came to me and said, yo, James, we're doing a 21-hour stream. We'd like you to sit there and just talk bollocks for the next 4 hours or whatever. I'd be like, well, this is an insult to your product because, and so I really didn't like that part. The European stuff was really good. The show matches,
it's the show matches and the tournaments that were the big draw. I think they got like some of the best players from around the world who were playing HOTS to get in and actually compete. And so, like the game Flash versus Life, you also had, I believe, Stefano, Grubby, White Raw, and Lucifron playing in the European version, which, massive upset. Grubby and White Raw ended up playing out in the finals. So, I mean, that was the massive entertainment. That was the draw for people to actually tune in and watch. They were having launch tournaments, basically.
Yeah, they had, some people in chat as well mentioning, they did get over 100,000 people watching in Europe.
It was I think it was 100 and it was at like 130 when I checked at one point. Yeah. So I mean, it was like, okay, those are acceptable numbers. First time I've seen StarCraft over LoL in months. LoL was at like 70.
Yeah.
StarCraft.
And I guess that's really the question that we should be posing as part of the discussion, rather than, oh, by the way, guys, if you missed it, Heart of the Swarm got released, which is pretty fucking obvious.
It's kind of hard to miss it with all the banners everywhere, though.
Yeah,
I think it was globally trending as well on Twitter. Swarm launch or something.
Yeah,
it was like 4th highest trend on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think the question that we should really ask ourselves is what does this mean in terms of esports? And like we saw that they could get 100 and 1,000 plus. Heart of the Swarm's going to be super interesting, potentially for a little bit, but how long until it stagnates again? Like Wings of Liberty, because even Cbit, who ran a Heart of the Swarm tournament, fair enough, it was beta, didn't get like a huge amount of numbers, and that's something we'll talk about as well. I mean, they did well, but it's like, it's your grand finals, it's a Heart of the Swarm tournament. It's like, how much impact do you think Blizzard made on the world outside of the stream to increase their kind of franchise and I
think for like from what we've seen in the past, like Wall was obviously way the fuck up here at the beginning, and then it stabilized. It came down and it stabilized at an acceptable number, which was usually around what, like 50-60K for a tournament. And that's kind of where it stayed. It stayed, within that range, and I don't think we're going to see, that big leap anymore. I don't think the hype is there. This is just, StarCraft 2.0.
But I mean,
version 3.
That's the thing.
They've added a couple units in. Like, okay,
that's the thing. It's still the same game.
It's still the same game with like some. It's like you put some, basil and Tabasco sauce on that bitch. Or
still the same game, basically.
Yeah, it's. You can say like the other games. You can like League of Legends, Dota 2, the other like team RTS games. They're pretty much the same game all along the way. So you could expect StarCraft to have good numbers from now on, and there's still a third part coming like in 2 years.
Not saying it's going down. I think it's just stabilized at where it's going to stay.
They're happy there, I guess. That
people shouldn't be expecting some gigantic burst of viewership numbers. No, it's not going to happen. It's going to stay pretty much stable from here on out.
Well, I mean that's just the interesting thing to watch, because obviously, I mean, I was thinking a lot about it the other day, and I was thinking like Dota 2, its growth in esports outside of its player base is actually hugely kind of hindered by League of Legends locking up large competitions like Intel Extreme Masters and all these other people, right? And so I was thinking like, That's really interesting because originally StarCraft was taken on by all the organizers as you had a license to do StarCraft, and everyone was like, fuck man, we're happy. Like you could hit 100,000 people concurrently, you could hit 80,000, back then. Now you kind of get around the 50, 60. Sundance on the MIT said that they've had like 400,000 concurrents for like an MLG. I know that the BWCS in Europe hit over, I think it was around 100,000. So I'm expecting Heart of the Swarm to go like 100,000, 80,000, 70,000 and stick around the 70,000 mark. But like, yeah, Dota 2, basically, without League of Legends locking up all the competition, Dota 2 would be the #1 game to actually work with in the more natural terms of esports, because everyone took Blizzard's game because of the numbers were great. But everyone originally took League of Legends because the numbers were great for your
Fucking
pocket.
fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah. Still are.
And because they have that game, they don't go to Dota 2 and be like, let's put Dota 2 in here. But it's like, even if StarCraft goes really bad with Heart of the Swarm, they'll never remove it just because of the relationship with Blizzard is overly strong. And even if the numbers go back down to like 40, 50,000 for their best tournaments, which in all fairness now, Dota 2 can hit for online games. They'll never remove StarCraft 2 Heart of the Swarm to replace it with Dota 2 because they wouldn't ever have a Dota 2 and a League of Legends at the same time.
No, of course.
So it's like StarCraft's really safe, but I don't personally think that Blizzard have done enough from last year to justify like an increase in like a player base and viewership of their work. But this year round, we haven't seen what Blizzard are going to do. And if they end up doing something like building leagues and, things like the GSL over different countries and doing stuff which is, more kind of... Like, imagine if Blizzard were like, well, we did BWCS, it was okay, but fuck it, let's put in like a GSL in America, Europe,
Right.
and support the one over there. You might see then a huge amount of growth. But it's really up to Blizzard, because I don't think any of the event organizers are going to increase Heart of the Swarm viewership based off increasing their production value, because they did that last year. Yes. And I don't think there's much more you can do on top of it. So it's interesting to me what Blizzard are going to do.
Do you think the fact that there's no direct competitor to StarCraft 2 matters in this? Because, I mean, like, even though they're different games, Dota 2, League of Legends, they appeal to the same player base because they're similar games in the format. And there's nothing like that, like StarCraft 2, to compare to.
Not
so
really anymore,
Blizzard might feel comfortable. Well, we may not have the huge numbers, but we have the market locked down. If you want to play an RTS, like 1v1, you play StarCraft 2. There's no other thing.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't think Blizzard look at esports. I mean, I can't talk on their behalf, obviously, but it doesn't seem like Blizzard look on esports as the be-all and end-all of why their game is successful.
Well,
it's more the
not.
Blizzard brand, and then in a way that hinders them because they're not able to do things like free-to-play games because people expect to buy Blizzard.
Well, you have to keep in mind, we know for a fact now that the vast majority of the people who actually play StarCraft 2, they play it for the campaign, and that's it. They don't even touch multiplayer. Like, they don't touch multiplayer. Yeah. So... esports at its core is still a minority in all of this. So you're talking about appealing to your minority share of the market.
Right.
So is that a worthwhile investment for Blizzard to make? That's the thing. When you have so many tournaments that are springing up doing the job for them, do they see it as a worthwhile investment? That's the question that we're going to have to... That's the question that's going to have to be answered, though.
That wasn't really my point. The point was, it's like when you put a game in esports, if you're going to do it properly, you make it free to play. Blizzard would never be able to make a free to play game because part of the name Blizzard says you pay for quality, and so therefore by being in esports, Blizzard haven't, in my opinion, brought something to the table which is an increase to the esports side of things. As the actual esports has done itself. And so therefore, if they, it's like not an esport business model for a game in esports. So I don't. I'm just basically saying Heart of the Swarm is going to do 100k, 80k, 70k, average around there. But the launch was fine. It was fun.
It was fun to watch. The Carbot animation, man. I love Carbot, and he really hit the nail on the head.
I missed that one because I fell asleep.
Good. It's on YouTube or it's on Twitch.
So
like somebody
just fell asleep.
it.
Like it was so weird with the American community thing. Like you said,
I didn't even watch it. I just saw it on Reddit. I was like, oh, sweet, the Carbot animation. Link. Fucking
Yeah,
brilliant,
the
man. I
American
was in
was
tears.
American was just really, really weird. And then like the community stuff they had, like the community competition where you're supposed to play like against a medium AI bot or something. You were supposed to teach on. I was like, why do they even do this? It's like so boring to watch. And Day 9 thought it was hilarious.
Even Chanman V's kind of playing arcade games was a little bit, you know, an hour-long content of that was a little bit weird.
Yeah, but I was like, Day 9 thought the videos were hilarious and the community competition was
the
hilarious.
Carbot
But
one
it
was
was
by
like,
far the best.
Well-
and other than that, the woman who walked out in the Carrigan suit that
Cosplay.
looked like you should put her down.
She looked so
'cause
sad.
She had to wear like a
face mask thing.
over her eyes.
And
So what happened was like, okay, you got 2 eye sockets on the mask, but
Let's
because you're wearing a mask,
put a
they
link in
get
it.
pushed out, and so it looked like she walked out like cross-eyed because you couldn't see. Oh shit, there's a link.
It's in the link. It's in the fucking thing. We should put it up there.
Right, yeah. This is what they brought out. And apparently Trance got pictures with him backstage. There's a picture of Trance on Twitter, and he said they're really hot. But because she's got a mask on top of her face, it obviously pushes out the eye socket. So therefore, she looks like she's cross-eyed because you can't see the inside whites of her eyes. She was. When I saw her walk out, I was like, "What the fuck?"
What am I watching?
Yeah. So it was.
Yeah, I think we've kind of said all we need to say about it for now, at least.
Yeah, it was. It's launched. The show was good in many places. Stefano got a birthday cake. It was massive.
Yeah.
Shit. And apparently, I had sources tell me it was a real cake.
Oh shit! They didn't cheap out on it. It wasn't cardboard
No,
with
no,
like
no.
you
It's a
know.
real giant
StarCraft 2
awesome
cake.
Sorry, you guys
The
are
thing
gonna
of
get
nightmares. It's the thing of
nightmares,
nightmares. Yeah.
But let's move on.
fuck?
I mean, we'll see what happens with Heart of the Swarm. I think what's going to be interesting is MLG coming up at the end of the month. So watch if we can get. I don't know if they show numbers on MLG, but yeah, there's the picture of Trance. As well.
The picture of Trance is priceless.
Let me have
She
a.
looks like she's about to eat you, man. She's fucking like twice the size of Trance. Where
You
did
know,
they find this
let's
chick?
Look at the picture of Trance. Just want to mention
Whoa.
that Trance
Trance looks scared.
Yeah.
Trance could still do worse.
Snoo snoo.
So
Oh fuck.
he's tiny compared to those.
Yes.
Those Amazons.
Apparently, yeah.
Yeah. All right then, guys. So I don't know if there's anything worth telling you to go back and watch with the Heart and Swarm launch. The Carbot
Carbot,
animation,
yeah.
It should all be on
and
the
also
Reddit.
the show matches is what you want to check
Yeah.
out. Other than that, so moving on, we're going to go into a Reddit thread here, and the actual news was that eSports to be on. Mingles, you're upside down. This is silly. Esports is going to be on TV4, which is a Swedish network or Swedish channel on a Swedish
I
network.
love the top comment of that thread, by the way.
Let me go back. Oh yeah,
what was it?
we can come to the Reddit as well then.
But who's
That's
gonna
pretty
host
good.
They
it?
should outsource it to the good studio. But this is really big, and Sweden's always been going this way with the help mainly of Dreamhack over the past kind of years even. I remember getting interviewed on SVT and then turning up, and then a small studio called Amok Studio started doing some esport coverage of Swedish SM. So it's been a long time coming, but what this concept is, it's an esport show. So it's essentially they are doing a professional version of talking about esports like we do on TV for people who watch TV. Now,
Who's gonna host it?
it's hosted by actually Pontus's
girlfriend.
girlfriend,
Julia.
Wait, who?
Yeah.
Julia.
Julia.
The girl that did your makeup at 4 Open.
Yeah. You remember her?
No.
You don't
Okay.
remember the girl who did your makeup at Thor
No.
Open?
You
I don't.
asshole.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Who are you looking at?
You need to
yeah.
get your priorities straight.
Well, anyway,
Well, you have it right there. You can pull it up.
she's quite connected anyway within esports in terms of I'm scrolling down. Am I? Oh yeah,
There she is.
you recognize
Oh,
her? And this guy as well. He's been doing stuff for quite a while.
Yeah, I recognize him from like DreamHack and stuff, right?
Yeah,
he's
he's been around.
He's
for
been
a
doing
little
SVT
while.
stuff for DreamHack, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Lots of interviews and hosting and stuff.
Yeah.
So they've got a good pair in terms of. Well, no, wait, don't make that joke. Sorry, Pontus. They've.
It's not good enough.
But anyway, they've got a decent representation of what esports can be presented, by these two people. Last time I got interviewed by him, his intro to me, by the way, was James Harding. Some people think he's crazy or some shit. Like, they did an interview with me, and he referred to me as people thought I was mental, essentially, before I even allowed me to talk.
That's
and it was
a nice
done in
That's
post-production.
great. That's great. That just, already people have an opinion of you.
Is it a morning show? Is it an afternoon
I don't
show?
know.
'Cause it
Does
says
it
4
say?
p.m. rematch.
We have
it's
two
called.
people that can read Swedish here. So
Yeah, just
Yeah,
bring it
Weppas.
up again.
Bring it back up. It's called Rematch, which is, I think they've had that name for a while and done some shows. Or
Yeah.
something.
If you scroll
And
down,
it's
you
scroll
can
down
see
a
It
little.
says 4 p.m. here, surely.
Yeah, but scroll down.
Yeah, that's 4
You
p.m.
can see the summary of episode 1 right there.
No, but that's like
This is years old, I'm sure.
This is years old.
no.
Pro-
But go up.
What?
That's only on TV4 Play,
Yeah,
so it's not actually on.
but it's going on TV, right?
Foreplay.
No. It's going online
Oh, is it?
on their online content, but it's on
Wow.
Thursdays at 4 p.m.
Thursdays at 4. I was talking with Hellspawn. One thing he
Isn't
had to say
Play
about
a-
it.
Isn't Play a paid service? Sorry, son.
No idea.
So you can pay for it, yes, but for some shows, or like to get like some episodes before and stuff, I believe it is, and no commercials.
I am going to be so fucking intrigued to what they talk about.
Well, that's
Well,
exactly
but I
it.
think
they
it's
do have
only
a lot
online.
to talk about if they want to. The thing is that
Well, that's exactly it. It's because they're appealing to a broader market and potentially
Well,
people that aren't as familiar with
not-
esports. So
not really.
Hellspawn, he said that they've run this concept before, and before it was much more of an instructional show. There was
I
a
remember
lot
that.
of broad topics, and this is what we do at a tournament and that sort of thing. So
Yeah.
they were trying to paint a picture for everybody who wasn't actually familiar with what was going on in our scene.
But it said
So,
it's going to be online.
Is it going to
so
still be a
it's-
very broad sort of thing, or
Yeah,
are
but
they going to be able
but-
to actually focus
okay.
it? That's the
So
thing.
If it's online, you're basically taking it and you're putting it online.
Sure,
so
but
you're
we're
still
talking about the TV
advertising to
portion.
the same people that already
Well, we're talking
get
about
there.
the TV portion. Like this is going to be on TV at 4 p.m., right?
No,
No,
it's
online.
online.
on
You
the
just said.
online play site.
But it's
TV4
okay, so this
Play
is worthless. What the fuck are we talking
online.
about?
It's like SVT Play, where they have the Dreamhack, everything
That-
from Dreamhack they send on like either SVT 24, which is like their fucking news channel that no one watches ever, or they had it on SVT Play, which is their online concept, their online shows.
Yeah, but this
And they're
is what
gonna
I'm
run
saying.
that
The-
on
the
TV4
business-
Play.
The thinking behind this is we make esports show, put it on
our platform.
online on our platform, and then esport people who are already on the internet getting their news in Sweden will find it here, and we will not expose it to a big wider audience because it's not really maybe for them because it's online.
Maybe they
And-
want to cross-pollinate, like get people from esports to watch their other stuff, and would, I don't know. like,
Okay,
make
well,
an
either
entry
way, we're going to check out how it goes. And
Apparently,
I'll
it's real.
have-
Well, according to
I'll have-
Metabe,
yeah.
apparently it's bad. They did a 12-minute map review of Daybreak in a 20-minute show. So they spent 3/4 of their show talking about Daybreak. So unless it was a StarCraft, I don't know. This is just shit that our guy was
Weppas,
giving us
it's
in the
your
doc.
job to watch that show
Yep.
weekly, every Thursday or torsdagar.
Thursday.
Torsdag.
So 30-minute
Torsdag.
show, half of it spent on a map.
Klockan 4.
I don't know. We'll
Alright.
see. It's really just wait and see. That's the kind of thing.
Trasco's screaming so much right now.
Yeah.
It's really hard to focus with
getting
Wait,
like
you
angry.
had just
shouting upstairs.
Did you add the stream to Team Liquid? Nah, you're on it. All right. So, has anybody watched that show, by the way, in chat? Just
Say-
chat.
Say hi if you
Yeah.
did.
Say if you watched it and what you thought. Because we're doing some cameo appearances.
Should.
Mm-hmm.
If you hear screaming, it's Mad School upstairs.
Yeah, Traskell.
And he's a long way away. That's how mad
on the
he
other
is.
side.
He's
the
on the
house.
other side of the house, yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. It's like 50 meters from here.
But it's like
Well,
a
it's like-
fucking tunnel that
You
just
know,
like
when
follows the
Draskell's
sound
streaming, like you know the second he goes live, because all of a sudden he just starts shouting.
Someone
Like,
said, yeah, it was really well done.
Oh, okay. Maybe we're just being too negative. Maybe we
Because the
just need
thing
to
is
wait
like
and see.
TV production, but it's sent online.
Maybe there's
pretty
a.
I'm sure the
bot
production value is awesome.
Yeah, it's
No, it's
it's
TV.
done in their studio at like the headquarters most likely, so probably gonna be good in the big studios. So
Mingles is so asleep I can stroke her little white socks. She doesn't wake up. Anyway, let's move on to the next topic.
Yeah,
We've just
motherfucker.
covered some of the sponsors and the eSport talk show. So, I guess normally we would take a break here and come back and go into StarCraft. But I think we should just baller
power through, yeah. Mm-hmm. Seeing as how we don't have any of our StarCraft panel,
Yep.
you might as well cut to the chase.
Go on then, Sam.
All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. There are some pretty big news topics. Well, we talked about it a little bit earlier. IEM World Championship was wrapped up this week, and it was done in Heart of the Swarm. They had access to a beta server there, so only there. The beta wasn't online. It was just for the players that were attending the event. But Rhett did a fantastic job for the foreign crowd. He actually came in the top 8. But unfortunately, he wasn't able to make it past that. The results are that Yoda actually won the whole thing.
I love the interview he did with Rachel, though.
Pardon me?
Where I love the interview he did with Rachel, where she asked, like, so what do you think the Zerg should do, like, since you've come this far as a foreign Zerg, like, what should the other ones do as well? He's like, I don't know, I don't think they can build swarm hosts well enough or something like that. It's like winning every game with swarm hosts or something. So he pretty much said, like, swarm host OP, go make them, you win games.
Top 4 LGIM.
Yeah. Not only are they Korean, they're LGIM. They're doing something right. Like, they just dominated the entire tournament.
Yeah, so results-wise, Rhett played one of the best for the Europeans.
Rhett was the 4-0, man. He
And
did so well in his group stage.
Wasn't it Nerdgeo as well, or someone else? I can't remember who was the other guy.
No.
Oh, no, Mana got sick Nerdballer or something.
Yeah, Mana got the sick Nerdballer
Okay.
award and looked
Yeah,
like he
but
wanted to die when
Yoda-
they gave it to him.
Yoda beat out first, and MVP and Yonghua got third, fourth.
Yeah.
So a decent amount of money. This was the obviously the big finals for their season. I can't remember what season they're in now. It must be season 7. So 30,000 went to Yoda on StarCraft 2. But did you guys watch it much? I tuned in for a bit.
Yeah, I was
Seemed
watching
okay.
a lot of it.
Tune in for a few matches.
Yoda, I watched it the one for Star Wars. So no.
You woke Mingles up with your Steam.
Yeah.
You asshole. Nah, I watched it. I mean, they had the BenQ overlays, or the BenQ colored
But
overlays.
wasn't that at the same time
But-
as G League, though? The finals or the semifinals?
Mm,
I think it was.
yeah.
Could have
So
been.
we were watching G League.
We were
anyways.
watching G League, but I mean, we're going to talk about G League later.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
G League took priority, but yeah, it was a great tournament. It lasted a long time. You had a lot of groups played out. Group A and B were pretty big. Those were on the first day. Group of Death. It's really just like it was a StarCraft tournament.
It is into the Extreme Masters rinse and repeat. They never bring anything. I always...
They-
you know how
they don't
Dreamhack-
change it. They don't change it.
But you know how Dreamhack do something like, boom, we've added this, or we're bringing this hype. Into the Extreme Masters are like, here's our product, and we put it different countries.
Well, they take
And so-
cookie cutter, you know.
Yeah, but it just didn't feel for me when I was watching it. Like I got the experience of, wow, this is the end, season 7 finals. It had nothing like that. Like one of the only pre-interviews done by the ESL guys was with Carmack and MC or something.
Well,
And then MC got knocked out.
One of my main gripes with the whole thing is that I felt like the whole thing lasted too long. It just drags out.
Well, it's as
And
long
because-
as the convention.
But yeah, exactly.
Wasn't it like
exactly.
6
And
or
it's
7
a bit of a
days?
shame because the tournament lasts so long that, okay, it's great. But one of the main things is that the analysis desk that they brought in, which is something I think should showcase the best plays of the tournament. You know, those should be the plays you want to come back to and look at and dissect and talk about, and everybody's hype about it, and you have your analysis, they're getting into it. And it's a really big thing. You would want to make it something special.
Right.
And it was just, it was just used as filler because of how the tournament lasted so long. They had to fill so much time that all of a sudden what should be something special that comes in every once in a while to spice things up is just something that is by rote after every match, despite the fact that they don't have anything to say about it. It's like, cool, he got 10 pulled or whatever. You know, it's just like, okay, you know, it devalued the whole experience for me. So I actually found myself, you know, almost just like muting him and being like, all right, wait till next match, do something else. All right, come back, match time, cool. Unless it was a really good map. Then I was like, fuck yeah, let's find out what happened. But that was like my main gripe from the whole thing. Apart from the quality of the matches was fantastic. It was great to watch. And I was cheering for Rhett the whole way through and through. It was just awesome to see him do so well in his group. But it was just gripes with the way production went. And
Didn't Horstim say like 1 or 2 sentences the whole first day? Like never got any air at all.
which was weird because Harston is
Like
a really
you-
talkative guy.
Like QXC just talked all the fucking time.
Well,
Didn't give
yeah,
any-
I mean, that's if we're going to go into personal performances of people that...
No,
No,
I'm just
no,
saying,
we're not getting
like,
into
because
that,
they had
but-
so much filler, it was like QXC was the one analyzing everything, and Harstim didn't say anything at all. He was just sitting there
Well,
waiting.
But actually, one guy I want to give a lot of credit to that event was actually Todd. I think
Yeah.
he really stepped up his game in commentary, and he actually got to do the grand finals, I believe, with Apollo.
Yeah.
Excellent Bond villain picture. But anyway, yeah. So
Sure
we
about
can
that.
we can move on from that. So congratulations to Yoda. Well done to Intel Extreme Masters for putting on another event. They must be the most tired event organizers in the world.
Yeah.
LGIM took top 4 spots. Mana got sickest nerd baller title in StarCraft 2. But generally, Intel Extreme Masters, they need to do something a little bit more special because right now they have a just.
Well, it's just the tried and true.
Even
It's
thing.
just
the
another
death
tournament.
they brought out was better the first time than it was this time, just because of the scheduling. So it's very odd for your product to
go
kind
down
of,
and-
do. It's weird. It frustrates me. All right, so I'll get you through the news a little bit quicker in
So-
StarCraft. So Team Liquid releases best games of 2012. This is a really well put,
Yeah, it
put-
was,
well
I can only
put
imagine the
together
time
article.
that went into this.
Well, what's the first one?
Yeah, and I'll show you.
We
with
don't care about the
spoilers.
rest.
Yeah,
We want the first one.
So if you want to go on Team Liquid and find this, if you're a big StarCraft nerd or want to see some of the best games, if you didn't see them and what people thought were the best games, at least on Team Liquid, the number 1 game was Gumio versus Lucera, apparently. Or at least I hope
No,
that's
no,
number
no. Those
one.
were of the.
Wait, it's
well,
down here, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
like the best games, there's 40.
And you go
Number one
down,
game, yeah.
is
Gumio versus Slayers MMA, GSTL
Right.
Season 2 finals. They've linked to all the where you can just click to watch.
That's the cool thing about
Yes.
this.
So if you've got some time to spend and you've missed any of the best games of the year, obviously some of it's going to be, well, all of it's now out of date because it's Heartless One, but obviously
Yep.
through patches it's going to be out of date. But it's well done Team Liquid at least for putting together that.
It's
Moving on.
fantastic. Big shout out to the guy who put it together. I can only imagine the time that went into actually writing the descriptions. I mean, it's very well done.
Or you just get 40 people to write one description each.
It's a good idea, Bruno.
Looking about that.
Johnny Rico leads Team Dignitas. Johnny Rico, one of the youngest players that Team Dignitas had picked up for their StarCraft 2 squad. I don't even think he was 18 or something. I don't think he was.
No, he
even
was 16.
18 yet.
16.
Anyway,
Remember because he couldn't get into the club in Finland?
oddly enough, Johnny Rico writes, "No longer with Dignitas, looking for another team" on his Twitter, as we can see on my page here. So, not sure what that means in terms of how they've kind of separated the deal. Obviously, Newman's dodging the show, but a lot of I thought maybe he had retired, but when I saw that, I was like,
He's too young to retire. He's too young to retire.
yeah,
Retiring at the age of 16.
16 man.
I've had my fair share of esports.
I'm done.
Yeah, so you can follow him at Johnny Rico on Twitter.
I'll find out where
And you
he'll...
can harass him. That won't get us in trouble. And a lot of people did say Patch Zerg. About Johnny Rico, because he only really turned up for an online
Professor's
tournament. I think it was
Patch,
like the TSL. He did pretty well, the online TSL.
Wasn't that like the big,
He did well. He was-
the big infestor? When
I mean, he had to
everybody's-
win a tournament to get the sponsorship from Dignitas to get to be part of the team. So I mean, he had his peak, but he was always known as one of those very I guess emotional
Yeah,
players
yeah,
that would BM and basically tell you to go eat shit and shit like that on the ladder. So he wasn't seen as like the most mature player out there. And
Well, he was he is 16, so
well,
Yeah.
whatever. Point being, he's been let loose. So we'll wish him the best of luck in his search for a new team.
All right then, so more player stuff in StarCraft 2. This one's pretty interesting actually, is that Polt has teamed up with CM Storm. That's Coolermaster Storm. You can come to my screen again to see the announcement, which was on Team Liquid. Now, this is a way that I thought the industry would be going, and this is why I have an agency, and which is why Red Pandas have a private sponsorship, and Red Pandas is its own franchise, and the sponsors support them. Now, CM Storm, to support a player of Polt's caliber, that would cost roughly anywhere between 60 to 120,000 a year for one player of that kind of caliber. It's my estimates anyway. He might be oversold or undersold. Coolermaster, a Taiwanese company. So, they're probably quite in tune with what's going on in Asia. Coolermaster didn't originally didn't start with CM Storm. CM Storm was an idea that I gave them actually a long time ago. when they were talking to me, I explained to him the difference between Dell and Dell XPS and how you separate your brand and market specifically, and build things for gamers. So they came up with CM Storm after sending lots of logos over, and I was like, cool. CM Storm is actually a really good product for Coolermaster. It's going really well. So it's not a surprise that they have an interest in sponsoring gamers and also some finances to do so. This is, to sum it up, it's pretty fucking fantastic, because Coolermaster Storm are no way near as big as some of the other companies that could sponsor a singular player. So it's still quite a big investment for this company, but they've got an amazing player.
Exactly.
But what we have to look out for Polt is who's he going to be training with and all that other stuff. But as far as I remember, Semmler, Polt was still going to school and stuff, wasn't he?
He took a year sabbatical.
Okay.
And I believe he extended that because he's living in the States now. So he's just doing his own thing for the time being. I mean, he's still a fan favorite. I believe he won the U.S. launch tournament. So I mean, he's still a player to be feared. So this is a great pickup for CM Storm, and I don't see Polt stopping the pain train anytime soon.
And this isn't Team Coolermaster, because there was a franchise called Team Coolermaster in England.
TCM, yeah.
Yeah.
But are called TCM now, since they're only called TCM now since they're not sponsored by.
Yeah. So this is basically a one-to-one sponsorship, no team involved. We are a brand. Polt is.
So
Kinda
apparently,
like the Nanoa thing.
to clear things up, he's studying in the University of Austin.
Okay.
So that's what prompted the move.
Great.
Kind of like the Nanoa thing, except it's a proper sponsor, not just a boost to help him through the rest of the year.
had help from Mionix.
Yeah, but that was more of a boost to help him out the rest of the year, right? Since it was teamless. I don't think he's still with Mionix. I don't know. Not too sure though.
Someone just asked a really long question.
I'm answering. I'm
I'm just going to tell him 10 people are under the roof, but we're not meant to be 10.
There you go. That about sums it up.
Okay, moving on to some more StarCraft 2 news. Obviously, we're here. Dreamhack, we can come to the page again. So, Dreamhack have announced their 2013 stops. It's pretty much identical from last year, which I'm looking for the friggin' stops. Where are they?
You could go
you can go to the top of the page.
You can see here, you've got Stockholm, end of April, then you've got your Dreamhack, summer, winter, and then they're going back again to Valencia and Bucharest. Really cool that they're doing StarCraft 2 again. Wouldn't expect them not to. ISO still going to be one of the head sponsors. Logitech are in this time. Steel Series, I believe, were there last time. And Kingston HyperX are new, but not new to the Dreamhack franchise. Disappointed that they haven't added any other games. They're only doing StarCraft 2. The format is still nice. The prize payout is pretty good to at least include the kind of top 8. 1.2 million SEK is roughly 160,000 euros around there, or over over 2 million US dollars. So it is a huge chunk of change, if you can call it that. But we don't really know too much about what to expect to them in terms of how the shows are going to be, what they're going to look like, and how awesome they're going to try and make it. But all we do know is they are a community fan favorite, and everyone's looking forward to this. So it's going to be a month after MLG kick off their season. You're going to start with Dreamhack, so we're going to already be able to compare who's doing what.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Brilliant. I like the way I'm just summing up the show by myself.
One thing
I'm on it,
man. Go for
I'm
it.
just getting through it, man. I don't care. All right, so next in news, Take TV, the little German with probably not a big chip on his shoulder, but he probably does have because he's short. Take TV and Acer announce Acer Team Story Cup. Confirmed teams are Mouse Sports, Axion, Team Liquid, and Acer, obviously. I can go to the link where they've got it on Team Liquid. So there's $20,000 in prize money, 14 play days, and it looks like they're going to be bringing it finals at, like a home story cup-ish feel with teams, I'm assuming. Individual tournament. Yeah, okay. Well, they got qualifiers and stuff, but prize money split's not bad. Top 4 get paid. Yeah, takes one of these people, like, I can't give enough credit to Take in a way, because He's one of these people I worked with at VSL that works harder and longer hours than anyone else. So, and he's pretty smart because he's got a lot of people working with him that can either be better or, you know, in different areas. So it's no doubt that he's going to move on and have more and more success. And I think this is another great product on top of Home Story Cup, because these team kind of tournaments really emphasize the team rather than the player, which is, I feel, quite an important storyline. It kind of feels like the Warcraft 3 days where you had those, you had your 1v1s and you had your 2v2s. But Bruno, anything you got to say on that kind of format?
No, we're going to go back to Take in a little while because we're going to talk Dota.
Yeah.
I got a question.
No, go ahead.
Does it say anything? Is it going to be an online tournament, like the whole thing, or is it going to be only finals?
I'm pretty sure it starts online. They're looking for casters.
Yeah.
I should have read this article more, to be fair. I didn't think it would be.
Because
Intel, 8 teams will compete on 14 play days. So top 4 prize money for 8 teams is pretty good. Every team will consist of at least 4 players. The matches will be played according to the all-kill format in a best of 9, which is fun, I think, as well. Accumulating in a special game played by the ace player. 4 teams will be invited directly to the tournament, which are these 4 teams. I'm guessing you have to qualify online, and I'm looking if there's any information about LAN finals. The whole tournament, no, that's just they're using ace stuff.
Nope, there's
They're
no...
They're looking for casters, though, and different languages, which is pretty
I'm guessing
cool.
it's going to be all online because...
So, before the Acer Team Story Cup starts, Dennis will provide you with the latest news in a video that will be uploaded in the next few days.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's going to go to LAN finals, because it's Team Story Cup, and I don't...
Yeah, because
it's not his brand to
I
do
was just
something.
surprised to see, like, 2 of the invited teams are Acer and Axiom, who are both in Korea with both their team, or like, the full team rosters are in Korea.
You know, like, MC came over? Yeah, it's a lot of...
Yeah, I know, but it's
actually...
it's the whole team is actually there, so if they're going to have
Like,
LAN finals, it's like,
if team
8 players!
Imagine this, right? So, 4 players minimum per team.
Yeah.
So Team Axiom, who are all over the world, they're going to fly to Germany to compete for a $10,000 first prize pool in a team game.
Yeah, it feels like it's going to be online
So
all of it.
no one's making any money out of this, apart from, well, Take. But the teams...
Good job, Take.
Yeah, good job, Take. But Axiom won't cover their flights and hotels with winning that.
It's going
and
to be
then they're
like...
still going to have to give that prize money to the players.
Yeah.
So it's all about the PR that they're going to get.
It's going to be
Axiom-
5 or 6 players directly from Korea.
But
And
do
that's going
Axiom
to be
need that
fucking
PR
expensive.
when they're going to hopefully be entering, you know,
Probably
as
not.
many tournaments? Because, you know, Axiom have really got, like, looking to have a really big kind of travel schedule. I mean, Gina Bain has supported those guys fully in terms of sending people everywhere.
Yeah.
But
So,
I think they got their
I
whole
don't-
team in
I don't
Korea,
think
though.
this is... well, it's cool. I guess people want to support people that do good things, and Take is doing good things. So whatever. We'll leave it at that. Travel is paid. Okay. Partly. Oh yeah, he did say like travel's normally like they give $1,500 or something budget. I remember that.
For
So
tickets
they're subsidizing
and
it.
lodging.
You are a prego cat.
Prego, lazy cat. All she does is eat and sleep nowadays.
She's been sleeping in my room lately.
Yeah.
I
She's
feel
gonna
that
pop out
that's
the
where she
kittens
wants,
there.
She was
have
not the only one.
kitties.
Yeah, she feels safe there, man. Have fun.
Yeah. Anyway, Take TV with Acer, Team Home Story Cup. It's worth checking out because
I think it's gonna be cool.
Last but not least, this was pretty big. If Mike was here, he'd care a lot. Roro takes down Symbol 4-2 and becomes the last GSL Wings of Liberty champion. And this is actually a Kesper player, Roro, that won it, and the first to go in and just come out and win. And it's huge, which is why we're not going to talk about it anymore.
Yeah. I mean, something to say. It was pretty much the cap on wall, ZVZ finals. And it was actually pretty funny to see a Kespa player make it to the finals and win a GSL that quickly after the introduction of the Kespa players into the GSL. So, Congratulations to Roro. I mean, for a long time in the house, we've been saying that he looks like the most skillful player in the set. So it comes as no real surprise that he was able to take it in the end.
Yeah, and he had some great wins as well. He took out Tasia,
Yeah.
4-1. We can bring out the brackets. We don't really care if he spoils.
Yeah,
stuff.
took out Tasia and MC.
Yeah.
It's a pretty brutal thing.
So, pretty amazing and a well-deserved victory. What's the prize pool, by the way, for winning a GSL? It's pretty huge, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a good payday.
At least for
I'll have a
the
look.
Korean players like me.
You can go to overall on the top left. Overview. There you go. Overview.
Overview. Yeah.
How much money?
Money.
Money.
Control F, $sign.
Yeah, there you go.
Control F. I don't know if I can get a $sign on this. Oh, there we go. Total prize pool, 161,000 USD.
Yeah, champion, $46,000.
That's
So 46k.
Wow.
55k euro.
Ah, that's quite a
It's
lot.
not bad.
It's like a month's salary.
If only.
It's crazy, guys.
After taxes.
Of course.
Duh.
I said that to Dendy once just to piss him off. when he won like 200,000 or something,
Yeah.
and he was like quite smug about himself, and I was just like, he's like, yeah, you know, like won that. And I was like, wow, man, that's like Jesus, that's almost as much as I earn every year, and like, and you just won that. That's amazing.
Congratulations.
He was like, I was like, you don't even know who I am, motherfucker. Play you in poker. Heads up. All right, cool. Yeah, so that's pretty much StarCraft 2 covered. In terms of, you got your Intellect Extreme Masters, you got some player changes. Intellect Extreme Masters over. Take's doing something pretty interesting you should keep an eye out for. And GSL Wings Liberties finished, and Roro from Kesper 1. So quite nice and clean to get that over and done with. But there is some pretty good StarCraft 2 coming up this month with MLG. So we'll tell you about that a little bit later. But we're going to put our guests to a little bit better use when we come back from the break.
Yay.
Because we'll be moving into Dota 2. So, time for Cancer Sticks.
Yay.
Fantastic.
See ya.